Hi, this is Laurel. Welcome back to 31 Days of Couponing Success. And today we are going to talk about using your freezer to stockpile. So this is obviously not going to take long. I don't want my freezer to hang open. But you know, of course, it's obvious that you can use your freezer to store meat items. And we've done that. You know, of course, when they're really, really cheap, you kind of get as many as you can at that time, keeping in mind, of course, your freezer space that you have on hand. The one I'm showing you is the one in my basement, in my storage room, my upright deep freezer. And so, yes, as I mentioned, you can, of course, freeze the things that you're used to freezing, like meats and frozen vegetables, and there's some Eggos in there, but you can also use your freezer to stockpile other items. Let's see, well, coffee. If you want to get coffee, there's some coffee down here. And okay, well, that's obvious. Ice cream. Some things that are not so obvious to stockpile are cheeses. Shredded cheese works great. I probably should have shredded this one first, but shredded cheese works really well when you take it out of the freezer. You can't even tell it's frozen. Bread, same with bread. Great, great to freeze that for stockpiling. Okay, they're my Eggos. And let's see, okay, everything on this shelf is pretty typical. This is meat. And I stockpiled some organic milk. I think I got those mostly free during the cereal sale at my local grocery store. I think it was last week. I may have talked about that in another video. But at any rate, milk freezes very well. These are cardboard containers, so I didn't have to pour any off first. But for plastic jugs, for obviously glass, you want to freeze or take a little bit of milk out first before you freeze them. And something else that you can freeze, many people don't know, is you can freeze, I put flour in my freezer if I'm not going to use it immediately, because otherwise it gets buggy. So I just seal it in a big Ziploc bag, and I'll freeze that. And I will also freeze, oh, you can freeze eggs. So if you buy eggs, you've got in bulk, in quantity, I should say, if you buy a lot of eggs, you can freeze them. Crack each of them out of their shell individually, mix it up, and put each individual mixed up egg or beaten egg into one cube of an ice cube tray. So you can, if it's got at least 12 little ice cube, if an ice cube tray has 12 slots at least, and I think they usually have 12 or 14, then you should be able to freeze a dozen eggs that way. But again, beat each egg up individually, and then put it in each little individual portion of the ice cube tray. So there are a lot of things that you can do with your freezer, and you want to make sure that you keep it reasonably well organized so that things don't get lost. We've all been there with mystery meats that are frozen and you have no idea what they are. But I can see everything very clearly, and what we individually packaged, because you know how sometimes it's cheaper to get a big package and split it up yourself. I have dated those things, and I try and use, obviously, the oldest items first. So there is chicken that we've packaged in, freezer bags, and these just went in today. This is chicken. I got chicken really cheap today. So, and bread. The Thomas's English muffins were at a really good buy, so I bought a couple of those, and that's what you see there. And fruit, if as we head into colder weather months, those of us who don't live in warmer climates, fruit begins to become a little bit less varied, a little more expensive. So if you've got some frozen fruits on hand for use in whatever, smoothies or desserts or whatever you might want fruit for, you can even, you can have frozen fruit on hand. So I think that's really about all I need to share with you, and I really want to close my freezer now. But again, you can very effectively stockpile using your freezer as well to extend the life of things that you might not otherwise think you can use your freezer for. As always, leave me questions in the comments below if you have any, and I will get back to you with some answers. But otherwise, thanks for watching.